we're a couple months into 2024, and now is the time to start getting excited about the upcoming releases in the genre, because there's quite a few that are releasing soon. But I'm here to talk about my top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2024 that I'm aware of. I'm not going to get into honorable mentions. I'm just going to stick to the 10. There's plenty of others that I'm excited for, but I want to talk about these. So let's start first with number 10. So coming in at number 10, this will be of no surprise to a lot of people, but it probably will surprise people what the placement of it is, and they will think that this is too low. But Terrifier 3 still made my top 10 most anticipated films of the year, because I am a slasher fan and I enjoy the kills that this franchise brings, as well as the return of a friend to the channel, I would like to call her, Lauren Lavera, who I had the pleasure of interviewing alongside of my wife, and I definitely recommend you check out that interview. But we also have David Howard Thornton returning as Art the Clown, and we know that this one is set in Christmas time, so we got a Christmas slasher. Now, the Terrifier films have become somewhat of a cultural phenomenon within the horror genre and its fans. I do quite enjoy these films, but I'm not as high on these as others. I'm really just there for the kills and now Lauren. So that is why it did make my top 10, but it's not as high as some people would have put it. Moving on to number 9. So coming in at number 9, we have Watchers. This one is brought to us by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Yeah, not him himself. We do have a movie from him this year as well that did not make my top 10, but I am looking forward to it. So I guess you could call that an honorable mention, so that's a bit of a cheat. When 28-year-old artist Mina finds shelter after getting stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland, she unknowingly becomes trapped alongside 3 strangers that are watched and stalked by mysterious creatures each night. So this one stars Dakota Fanning, and the trailer looks very promising. So that one immediately shot up the list for me, just because I want to see what the lineage of M. Night Shyamalan could bring to the screen. All right, moving on to number 8, we have I Saw the TV Glow. Of course, A24 is going to have to make an appearance here, and with it being A24, I have no doubt half the audience that goes and sees this is going to be saying it's the greatest movie they ever watched, it's the best movie of the year, and the other half is going to say how it's the stupidest film they've ever seen in their life, and they can't imagine why anyone would enjoy this, and if anyone did, they should die a terrible death. The teenager Owen is just trying to make it through life in the suburbs when his classmates introduce him to a mysterious late-night TV show, a vision of a supernatural world beneath their own. In the pale glow of the television, Owen's view of reality begins to crack. Now this reminds me very heavily of Channel Zero Season 1 Candle Cove, which I am a massive fan of the entirety of Channel Zero, all 4 seasons, and will always take anything in line with something like that. So definitely check out the trailer for that one if you like A24 style films that are weird, unique, and different. So moving on. A film that I will be watching tonight, actually. We got a screener for it. I am very thankful. Thank you to Alex from Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. And this movie is Late Night with the Devil. Live broadcast of a late night talk show in 1977 goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. Now this one, I think you could classify as found footage or something along those lines, something that's supposed to be real footage that we're watching. As far as I know, that is how this is playing out. The trailer very much looked very Grindhouse. In fact, they used the voice for the trailer that lines up with the Grindhouse. So this one has me very excited. I can't wait to check this out tonight, and I will let you know in just a few hours probably, if this is worth your time. All right, next up at number 6, we have Alien Romulus. I can't not get excited for an Alien film. This time we are moving away from Ridley Scott and we are instead picking up Fede Alvarez, director of Evil Dead from 2013, as well as Don't Breathe. I think the man is a fantastic filmmaker and is perfectly suited for an alien film. This is about a group of young people in a distant world find themselves in a confrontation with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Yes, plot details are very vague. No one in the cast is all that familiar to me, but no one in the cast for Evil Dead was all that familiar to me either, and it ended up being one of my favorite films of the decade. All right, up next we got Saw 11. Now, some people want this franchise to die, and some people like me are willing to watch these things until the earth comes to an end. So, yes, I was not as in love with Saw 10 or Saw X as most people seem to have been, but I do think it was a step in the right direction, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they can do with Saw 11. The reason that this one has me so excited is because the writers of the previous 3, which are my least favorites of the franchise, are leaving, and we are getting new writers, so that has me absolutely intrigued, and we are getting this in September, so we don't have a lot of time to wait. We used to get one of these things a year, so this is nothing new to the franchise, but it is good to see it back. But I do hope we eventually can get away from John Kramer and we can start to move past that. They did try that with Spiral, and I wasn't a big fan of it, but that doesn't mean it can't work in the future. But Saw will always be an anticipated film for me, and the only reason this isn't higher is because the last 3 have been disappointing to varying degrees, with Saw 10 being the best of the last 3, for sure. So we are headed in the right direction, as I said, but we're not quite on the level of the original films yet. That's right, Smile 2, number 4, Kyle Gallner returns. I'm going to assume his part isn't going to be big. He'll probably be the opening kill of the movie. Could be wrong. We might be taking this in a totally different direction. In fact, I'm all for it. But Parker Finn brought us a fantastic film in Smile, and I'm absolutely dying to see what we are going to get out of Smile 2. I hope the trailers are vague. I hope we give away almost nothing plot-wise, but I have no doubt in order to try to sell this film, they're going to spoil the hell out of everything. Will I be able to avoid the trailer? I don't know. We'll see. But we do add Naomi Scott here, who I know from the Aladdin remake, and I think she is a really good, talented actress. So she's a welcomed addition, and I'm over the moon for this one. I don't know what to expect, and that's exciting. All right, top 3 time. Number 3, Nosferatu, Robert Eggers. Of course I'm going to be excited. Anytime this guy makes a film, it ends up being in my top 10. Nosferatu is not a film that I'm particularly fond of. I don't dislike it, and I don't love it. I have seen the original. I have seen the Klaus Kinski one. I don't really remember them that well. I do remember some of the imagery, and I have no doubt that this is going to be a very period accurate film, as he loves to do. I do wish Anya Taylor-Joy was in this like she originally was supposed to. You got Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, taking her place here, so that's a bit of a bummer, but she's still beautiful. She's still, I think can bring something to this film, but I would have preferred Anya, and I probably always will. But who knows? Maybe after we see this film, I'm going to be like, you know what? I can't see anyone else in this role, and I'm glad it was her. That remains to be seen. But for now, we have Nicholas Hoult, we have Bill Skarsgård, we have Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and we have Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe obviously played Max Schreck in Shadow of a Vampire alongside of John Malkovich, and that was kind of a parody, sort of biography of the making of Nosferatu. So he's already sort of linked to Nosferatu. With Robert Eggers attached, I can't not be excited. It was hard picking between number 1 and number 2, but I'm going to put Longlegs in number 2's position, and this one I just couldn't be more excited for. But this stars Micah Monroe as well as Nicolas Cage. We have gotten almost 0 trailers of them it being in this movie and what this movie is about. But the trailers we have gotten is horror mastery. This is how you promote a horror film. Take note, studios. This is how you promote horror. You release short, cryptic, creepy-ass videos that intrigue and tantalize our taste buds and our minds, and we just say, what the fuck is that? And I need it right now. If you have not watched the trailers for this movie, you are doing yourself a disservice. It might not do what it did for me, for you, but my God, this has been my favorite marketing campaign for a horror movie in a little while. My last favorite one would be Smile. I think they did theirs correctly, having people just go to random places and smile for long periods of time, like a baseball game and whatnot. Brilliant. These trailers for Longlegs, brilliant. They don't say anything. They're just ominous. They're creepy. They're cryptic. And they're spooky as hell. And I love it. And with Osgood Perkins, son of Anthony Perkins from Psycho, I've loved previous films from him, whether it be Blackcoat's Daughter or Gretel and Hansel. The dude is visually stunning, makes very cool, unique films, and I cannot wait to see what he brings with this. These trailers are incredible. All right, number 1, my most anticipated movie of this year and my most anticipated movie of last year. It just didn't release last year, so then it got moved over to this year, and the anticipation is just as great as it was last year. And this is the final film in the Maxine Pearl trilogy, MaXXXine. Yes, now it has been rumored in an interview that this might not be the last film in this franchise, but for right now, this will complete the trilogy that we know is happening. We are following Maxine as she is in Hollywood, and this has been described as a giallo kind of whodunit, which has absolutely made us go kind of wild with speculation. What we thought the killer or killers might be, and I think we're probably gonna be right, and that would definitely play very heavily into X and bring Maxine's character kind of full circle. So I couldn't be more excited for this one. We added quite the cast to this one, a whole mess of names like Giancarlo Esposito and Michelle Monaghan, and most notably Kevin Bacon, which kind of came out of nowhere, and a bunch of familiar faces. So this one's got a stacked cast. Halsey, we got quite a few people in this one. But Mia Goth coming back as Maxine, finishing off this trilogy. I love X. I love Pearl, and I think that Maxine can cap this off as one of the great, if not the greatest, trilogy in horror. Think about it, guys. When it comes to true trilogies, there's not a lot of them that actually stay that way. But we might get a 4th film that will break that up, and then, that'll kind of go to the wayside. But we'll see how this one ends, and I couldn't be more excited. So I want to see what your guys' top 10s, what you think I should not have on this list, what you think I should have on this list. Let's discuss it in the comments below. I'll see you guys there.